All right, what's up everybody? TooTallToby here, and today we are going to continue trying to create tutorials for all of the Tier 2 challenges found in the TooTallToby library at TooTallToby.com. This is where you can practice 3D CAD by modeling up real-world parts. And even though this is a simple Tier 2 part, this is actually one of my favorite parts in the library, just because it has a practical use. I love the models that have a practical use. So here you can see we can filter the library by our difficulty level or by the type of model that we're trying to create. We're going to create this thing as a Tier 2, or we're going to filter for Tier 2 challenges. And we see here the next challenge is this 240810. And this part is called Simple JIG. And that is, in fact, what this part is. So we can see that 194 people have successfully solved this thing. And it's got an average solve time of 4 minutes and 25 seconds. So we're going to try and beat that average solve time today. Let's click here to begin and go. And so we can see here that this is something that I actually 3D printed out so that I could align some holes here. So this was for some kind of I think we were building a deck, like a little platform, and we wanted to hook this thing on the side and then have the location for those holes all be the same throughout the platform. So really simple 3D printable jig, really nice application of 3D CAD here, even with a simple model. Now, as always, before I actually get started in the 3D CAD, what I like to do is come up with a game plan. And the first thing I ask myself is, where should the origin be located? This model has symmetry, so the origin is going to be somewhere along this plane of symmetry, and it's going to be down here in this kind of lower left corner. It's right at the intersection of where a lot of dimensions are coming together, and that usually makes for a good candidate for the origin. So I think my first sketch is going to look something like this. We'll come up, over, down, over, up, over, down, and close it off. And then we will take that sketch and we will extrude it out here to the depth of 109 millimeters using the symmetry option. Once we've got that shape in place, basically all that's left is just to add these holes and then add these fillets, and we should be good to go to calculate the mass. So what is the mass of this part in X grams? We're going to try to figure that out and enter that answer in right down here. Now, I know we took a minute and 15 seconds there to come up with a game plan, but I think it's always important to come up with this basic game plan. Where should the origin be? What's my first sketch going to look like? How are my subsequent features going to land in the tree? And if you agree and you think it's good to come up with a game plan, be sure to hit the like button on this video. I'm going to click this button here that says open in a new window. That lets me take this drawing and move it over here to this second monitor. And I'll take this over here so that we can keep an eye on our time and see if we can beat that average time. We're going to say create document, and this is going to be called 24-08-10. Simple JIG, and we are going to place this in the public space. So if you're using a free version of Onshape or a paid version of Onshape, you can search the public space for that document name, and you can actually open up this document and look through the entire history tree. All right, here we go. Options, workspace units, and we're going to say millimeters. Yep, millimeters and grams. That all looks good. Front plane, S key, begin a sketch, N key to get normal to, S key, begin a line. I'm going to single click here. I'm going to create a line that comes straight up. That's going to come up to a height of 65, enter, over in this direction to a distance of 20, enter, down in this direction, not sure how far down, up and over this way, and down here till I'm horizontal with the origin. And then we'll close that off. And then for that last dimension there, we can type in 110. Now for these remaining dimensions, what we'll do is we'll press the S key on our keyboard. So hit escape, S key, dimension, and then we'll just add in these final dimensions here. So 30 and 10 and 15. And there is your first sketch. If you want to pause the video and make sure you get that first sketch in place, nice and fully defined, fully constrained, that's what it should look like. And then what I do is I press the S key and I right click and I say customize, and I add some icons to my S key menu like extrude. That way I don't have to always go up here to the corner. I can just jump right into extrude right from sketch mode. Now for the extrude command, the main shortcut I use is the tab key. I press tab, tab, tab. That takes me into the depth field, 109, enter, and then I press tab, 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 and I press the space bar. So tab, 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 enter the depth, and then tab, 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 press the space bar. That gives you symmetric. Then you can just press enter, and boom, you are done with that command. Now, for the location of these holes here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop in these locations with some sketch geometry, and then I'll reference that sketch geometry in the hole tool, or I could actually just draw this in as a circle. I could do it either way. I'm going to use the first method just because I think it's good to know how to do that. So I'm going to pick this face here, S key, begin a sketch, N key to get normal to. And then a little trick that you can use here is you could use the center point rectangle, so S key, and then I could use the center point rectangle here, and I could just wake up the midpoint of this top edge and draw in a rectangle. Now, the reason I'm doing that is because I'm really interested in this point here and this point here, and now those 2 points are symmetric. So I've got center line symmetry on this drawing. Well, now look, those 2 points are symmetric. So that makes it really easy to get the location of those points. S key, dimension. I'm going to go dimension here from this top edge down to this point. That's going to be at a dimension of 15. And then the dimension for this line here is going to be a dimension of 70. And that should give me the location for that point and that point, which are going to become the location of my holes. So just kind of a cool little trick you could do there in Onshape. Sometimes I'll go into that sketch and I'll rename it. So Shift N, and I'll call this one sketch location of holes, just to make it a little easier when I look at this tree later on. I kind of know what each of these features is. Maybe this feature here, Shift N, I'll call this like main L shape with notch. So whenever I look at that feature in the tree, I know right away what that feature is doing. So now I've got this sketch here. And by the way, sometimes those sketches are a little bit difficult to see. You can right click on that sketch and you can go here to sketch appearance, edit sketch appearance, and make it like a red, something that'll really pop out there. So now you see it's very easy to see that sketch, a lot easier to pick those points. So now I can go here to the hole tool. Now, if you can't find the command, you could always use the search here. I've got my window a little bit compressed here, so it's kind of hard to see. But if I just make it a little wider, you can see the hole tool here. So hole, and then for this hole tool here, I'm going to say that I want to use a diameter of 15 millimeters. One thing I really like about the hole tool is as soon as I enter that value, the name of the feature here updates. So I type in 15, press enter, and now look, the feature updated to 15. And then here where it says sketch points to place holes, well, I could just pick this point here and this point here, and boom, we are done. So that's going to be a metric hole, simple hole, diameter 15, and then you pick these two locations here, this point and this point. And we hit the green check mark, and boom, there is that hole. We're done with that feature. Don't even have to rename that one. And then S key fillet, and we'll just pick this front edge here, this front edge here, and we'll say that that fillet has a radius of 20 millimeters. And that should pretty much do it for that one. Maybe I'll rename this Shift N. I'll call this fillet. Front corners. Even though it's a simple part, just a few features in the tree, it's still a really good habit to rename your features. Here, if we didn't want to see the planes anymore, we could press the letter P. That hides our reference planes. A lot of times what I like to do is change the color of the part to match the customer color. So I'll go here to the name of the part in the parts list, right click, and I'll say edit appearance and make this like a yellow here to kind of match the customer. Customers always like it when you do that. And then finally, what I'll do here is I'll right click on the name of that part again and say assign material. Now this is going to come from the TooTallToby custom library of materials. So if you are not familiar with how to set that up, just take a look down in the description. We'll include a link in the description. Looks like we're going to be using 1060 aluminum again. A lot of 1060 aluminum parts here in the tier 2 category of challenges. So 1060 aluminum from the TooTallToby custom materials. We hit the green check mark, and now we come down here, pick the icon for mass properties, click on this part here, and 1,100 grams, 0.1. So we're looking for the answer here in XXXX, but we could put in that 0.1 still, 1,100.1. Enter, and oh yeah, we did it. So we were able to do it. We solved that model correctly. We got the correct answer, and the answer came in 7 minutes and 48 seconds. So we're going to say submit here, and it looks like we were a little bit higher than the average, 4 minutes and 25 seconds. Ooh, we increased the average to 4 minutes and 26 seconds. So we did take a little bit longer than the average, but that's okay. We could always go back and use try again, and that way we could go through. Now that we know how to model this thing, now we could actually kind of try to see if we can improve our time and come up with a faster time there if we do that try again function. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here to data and analytics, and I'm going to upload a video of this tutorial, and that way my video will show up here right underneath Crispy Co. This guy makes some great tutorials for SolidWorks users, and now I'm going to be adding in another tutorial for Onshape users so everybody can learn from this platform. So guys, if you haven't had a chance to check it out, visit us at TooTallToby.com. You can get started for free. And then if you like the app, you can unlock the entire library. And of course, if you enjoyed this tutorial, be sure to hit the like button, be sure to subscribe, and be sure to let us know down in the comments what you learned from this tutorial. And I will see you in the next Onshape step-by-step tutorial.